Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 6, all about loving your creativity. And we are going to be doing a art journaling exercise that's focused on self-expression, expressing your unique soul expression. So, you're interested in learning more about this and going through this process all on your own, keep watching. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to day 6 of 14 days of loving you. So today is all about loving your creativity, if I could speak words. And I'm going to take you through a art journaling exercise that's really focused on self-expression. This is something that have taken my clients through and worked through on my own. And I thought it would be really helpful to kind of take you through this, my way of providing an opportunity for you to create without judgment. It's not about creating something for an aesthetic pill. It's really asking yourself, what is your soul longing to express today? And one thing that I shared going through the practice is how the soul communicates in color. So your soul will express through you and speak through you with color. So grab your sketchbook, grab some colored pencils, some markers here, and you also need something to draw a circle in, or you can draw it freehand. So I'm going to take you through how I created this today. I actually just created this in the coming art journaling exercise. So let's get into today's day. So let's get into today's art journaling exercise that's focused on self-expression, encouraging you to create without judgment. All right, let's see what your soul is longing to express. So welcome to this demonstration. I'm going to walk you through doing what I call my art journaling. Just kind of showing you some of the ones that I've already have done here so you can see them. So the idea behind these is that you take a circle and you fill that circle, and then you take the time to write out what it is that you see reflected back within that circle, or just kind of noting and checking in with how you're feeling about things. So as you can see, everyone looks a little different. There are some days where there's similar colors, and then there's days where they're just completely different. Okay, showing you just how different they can look. There are a few things that you need in order to do this process, and you can go as basic as you want to with just 2 things: a pen and paper. In order to elevate it, I always recommend adding in color, because color is a really great way of communicating and connecting to your soul. Because one of the things that I learned from my spiritual teacher, and it really resonated with me, yes, was that the soul speaks in color. It understands color. And color is a really great way of checking in with yourself and asking yourself how you're feeling. And so that is part of the gift of this process. So I am going to use color pencils today, and I have some markers as well. One thing that I find really helpful is to find something to do a circle with. You can use an old lid like such. I think this is from an oatmeal container, to trace around on the paper. So before we get started, ask yourself, where do you want the circle to go? And you want to allow for space for journaling as well. So I'm going to put my circle up here. Before we start, it's always really helpful just to kind of breathe. Just close your eyes and just breathe. Okay. Looking at the markers here, ask yourself, what color am I being drawn to? What color am I feeling today? And you're going to pick those colors. Okay. So here I have my colors that I have chosen, and I'm going to also ask myself, which color do I want to start with? And this is the order that I have identified that I want to work with. So one thing that I'm going to take you through what's called neurographic art. It's a very basic practice. It's very simple. It's very easy. I love it. I do it all the time. If you follow me on, if you've seen any of my artwork, you'll recognize it there. So I'm going to use green, and I asked myself, what color do I want the outside ring to be? And I picked that color. So you're going to take that and you're going to draw the circle on the page like so. Remember, you can't get it wrong. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to this, but I'm going to put it to the side. Then I'm going to ask myself, what color do I want to use the lines to draw my lines? And I have decided to use this color for myself. Use what speaks to you, okay? So now that we have our circle here and we have our color that we're going to be working with, the idea behind this is to move and work within the circle. Hear me when I say this part. Hear me when I say this. It's okay if you go outside of the lines. Maybe you need to break outside the lines. So you're going to take your marker and ask yourself where you want to start. Start there. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. And for 5 minutes, we're going to focus on putting in the lines here. Okay. No, scratch that. Okay, so here's a part where you just intuitively go. I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, and during that 5-minute time frame, I'm going to be working and focusing in on this circle here. So about 5 to 8 minutes, we'll probably go a little bit longer since I'm going to be talking you through this. So we're going to take your marker, and you're just going to draw within the circle here. You can cross if you want to. Drawing those foundational lines here. Okay. You can keep going if you are called to. I'm being called to stop. And once you get called to stop, this is the part where I think it's where the neurographic lines come in. So the idea behind neurographic art is that you're creating new neural pathways. So it's leaning into neuroplasticity. And I talked a little bit about that, I believe, in day 4 about the power of positive thoughts. This process, this practice helps in supporting you in rewiring that brain, using understanding that your brain is the neuroplasticity of your brain. So by curving these points here,
right in here, you're rewiring the brain. So, what we're going to do is go back through, and wherever there's a line, the lines meet, just going to curve them out. Take your time doing that. We're rounding the corners here. Rounding the corners. So this may take some time. Just you need to pause if you're still done. Do that. So I pulled out this yellow. I'm going to use yellow and some pink to shade in my circle. Just add in some color. You can skip this part if you don't feel called to. You can add more lines. Again, this is your piece. Allow it to speak to you. So you're just gonna add in color where you feel called to. gone as far as I want to go with my circle here. So I'm going to spend the rest of the time just journaling. So you just want to ask yourself, what do I see? How do I feel about this circle? And just do a stream of consciousness journaling. And I'm going to encourage you to do this for like 5 minutes or so. So asking yourself again, what color do I want to journal in? Select your color, and then we're going to get into writing. Okay.
All right, now that we've completed our um, page here, what I always ask is there a phrasing? Like what can you put into like 2 or 3 words to summarize what this represents in your life after you've journaled, right? So spend the time and kind of reflect on what that is and write it right up here. I like to use a corresponding color that I've already used so it stands out. So just put that in the space around the circle. Maybe more than one phrasing, go with it. Want to be sure that you add the date, add the date. One last thing is now that we've gone through this practice, I always like to go back in and find the love in what I've created, finding the love. And by finding the love, I find a shape within the circle or I draw in a heart. Going to add that in. Okay, there we go. Hmm. My suggestion is always to sit with yourself and come back to this practice whenever you're just trying to work through some things. And what you will find during this practice is that it really does support you in shifting your awareness and how you're feeling. And as I shared before, I would definitely recommend going to, day, I think it's day 4, reminding you of the power of your thoughts. This is how you can access what your thoughts are, having that awareness and sitting with it and finding the power within it. So, another great practice is finding a way to reframe. If you notice that you're maybe feeling a little low energy, low energetically, a lot more denser, say negative, heavier, acknowledge what that is. Acknowledge what the heaviness is and how can you reframe that to empower yourself for it. That's what I love about art journaling is you get a very clear picture in terms of how you're feeling at the current
Thank
time.
you so much for joining me for this day of loving your creativity and expressing your unique soul. I hope you enjoyed this art journaling exercise that's focused on self expression. And know that you can always come back to this whenever you like. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me today. Bye.